Hello there, hope that you are doing well. Now there is a lot happening in my part of the world at the moment, to put it mildly. Over the last weekend, at the time I'm recording this, we saw China essentially sanction the first US tech provider, Micron, which is the first, I think, in a series of tit-for-tat sanctions we'll see as the tech war, which I first talked about way back in, I guess, 2020, continues to escalate in a way that I really hope that it wouldn't. So that's kind of exciting. A bit close to home here in Hong Kong, we've got the virtual asset licensing coming in. So if you're a virtual asset exchange, you need to be licensed from the 1st of June. Make sure you comply with that. We've also got talk, which is massively interesting, about changes to our personal data privacy laws. They're going very slowly, but more quickly we're seeing, but we don't know what the details are quite yet, which is quite worrying, quite scary. Changes to our security law, something called Article 23, which never has been brought into force, which I think will affect the way that people use the internet, will affect the free flow of information within Hong Kong. We have to see what it's going to be. I will keep you posted. Now, I want to keep this video pretty short because I've talked about AI so much you're probably sick of it, so I'm going to keep this one as short and sweet as possible. Over the last month and a bit, and certainly over the next month, I've done so many talks on AI. I've talked about the security, whether we should be using it, whether it should be regulated, the pros and cons, whether we should be worried about things like plagiarism, whether we should be worried about things like defamation, and of course, whether it's going to replace us. Are we all going to be replaced by AI? Now, I don't mean slaves of a giant robot army run by Skynet, but I want whether essentially our jobs are going to be displaced, which is something that people worry about all the time. So the question that comes up a lot is, are we going to replace by AI? And the answer you often get, someone almost whenever you're in a panel discussion or you're giving a talk or someone in the audience says that you will not be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced by the people who are using AI. And I think that that is true. So what I've seen in certainly in the last few weeks, is a couple of stances. One is doing a very much a wait and see approach with AI, saying we're going to see how it develops, we'll decide what happens. Some are embracing it, saying we're using AI all the time, it's replacing some of our functions. We've enlisted firms to build AI tools for us, not just things like ChatGPT, not just things like Google Bard or indeed now Microsoft Bing, but tools that will actually work. Others are saying absolutely not. And I've seen memos from the heads of organizations saying anybody using any AI tools will face disciplinary sanctions as a result, which I think is entirely the wrong approach. Now, I'm old enough to remember my first few days in an office, and certainly at a law firm, you were banned from using search engines and the internet. If you had to do any research whatsoever, you went to the library and you started going through the books, the case citers, putting together a large, often very dull and boring memo that your supervisor may or may not read on what the status was on the law. It was only then that later on we got essentially legal search systems, LexisNexis, things like that. They were pretty basic at that point. You had one terminal, again, in the library that you could go and access to do research on cases. But then you'd always be asked to give a printout of the various, essentially a photocopy of the various sections of the various case books or textbooks or whatever it is you were referring to at the time. And that seemed that it was going to be the way forward. Certainly law firms, even in Hong Kong in the 2000s to the 2010s, were banning essentially their staff from having any access to the internet. Now imagine if you couldn't Google something, right? Imagine if you were working in any industry and you couldn't Google something. Now, it's not going to be the answer, but it's always going to give you a first indication of whatever industry you're in, maybe what you should be looking at, what your sources could be. Now, the same is true with AI. We really should be embracing it. And I think that what we should be doing as a business sector, as a community, and in the creative community, actually, it doesn't really matter what you're in, is thinking about ways that use of AI will enhance what you do and make it essentially more efficient, more productive, and more valuable to your clients. Now, bear in mind, yes, you've got to be careful. If you were Googling any answer to something, you wouldn't say, can you do some research online? Google, I don't know, what is the best type of sports jacket? Put that off the top of my head. What was that? Some sort of weird subconscious thinking. You wouldn't then go click the first link, go, well, this is the answer. The same is true with AI. You wouldn't just use it to create an answer to something and just blindly trust everything it produces. It is a tool. It's a tool that's there to help you. It's a tool that is not perfect, is open to abuse, is open to giving you the wrong answer. Heaven knows some of my discussions on the various AI chatbots have shown that they're not really always right. Sometimes they are disastrously wrong. But it's another tool that you then use your own ability, your own skills that you've developed over time to actually build on that. You can then refine refine the tool, make it better, or you can essentially use it to create something that's completely new and not capable of being built by AI alone, but only being capable of being built by somebody who knows how to use and essentially embrace AI. What I'm trying to say is a lot of people seem to be a bit naysayer, almost a Luddite when it comes to things, saying, oh, we don't need to use AI. It's not, it somehow discredits the area that we're in. It somehow, I guess, impurifies the things that we do. I'm seeing this a lot in terms of law, but the law firms who are going to succeed, much as the other organisations, other sectors are going to succeed, will be embracing AI. They will be developing their own AI platforms. There are law firms at the moment, and they're going to do very well creating their own versions of AI chatbots that use their own systems within the firm, their own case law, their own precedents, to speed things up, be more efficient, be cheaper for clients, and as a result, be infinitely more successful. You want to be one of those people. Now, as I said, don't blindly follow it. Make sure that you're trained in AI, but don't just think, don't just think this is a bad thing and we've always done it one way. It's always going to be the same. Now, you're not going to be able to avoid AI if you're using Microsoft products relatively soon. And I'm guessing that the vast majority of people who watch my videos use to some extent Microsoft 365, if not other platforms. That is because they're bringing in AI Copilot, which again is powered by ChatGPT, which can do phenomenal things. I watched a demo of it. You could write some slides. It will turn the slides into speaking notes for you. Produce speaking notes to turn to slides. It will do some research for you, which will then draft into a Word document. It is there to save you time and make you more efficient. So I don't know, and maybe this is because I'm a technology lawyer, I don't understand why people are so scared of it. I understand the worry about people taking over the world with robots because I love sci-fi, as I've said many, many times. But I don't see why somebody wouldn't want to use something that could make them more efficient, make them more attractive to their customers, to their clients, and essentially make them able to do their work more quickly or give them more time to be actually creative than doing really boring, drudgery research work. So that's kind of my view. Now, what we're going to see, and I've seen the last couple of weeks, I've seen people talking about how we need regulation on AI, and I think that's coming, but as I said in a previous video, it's coming very, very slowly. It's possible, but I don't think the regulation will ever keep up with what we're doing. But we're going to see individuals, organizations, and nation states putting in some sort of controls on what AI can be used for and what it can't be. And I'm interested to see how that pans out. What it mustn't do is stifle the use of it such that other organizations or other industries or indeed other jurisdictions get an unfair advantage, which is exactly what happened if suddenly you decide we're banning AI completely in this one jurisdiction. You will be left behind. It'd be like saying, well, frankly, we're going to ban bank transfers, we're going to ban the internet, we're going to ban the use of mobile phones. You'll find that suddenly you're living in the dark ages. Well, not really the dark ages, but something that would feel like the dark age someone's been living in this world for a while. This is not the way forward. What we do need to see is some sort of level playing field. I know that there's a talk, and some of the specialists now are saying they want a moratorium because it's becoming too powerful, but it's too late. There's no way you can stop what's going on now. We just need to think of ways that it can be used, ways that it can be used efficiently, and essentially ways that we can make AI completely shape the way that we essentially do our work, that we live our lives, that we do our business. Because as a tool, it's revolutionary. I've said this, it's the biggest change since the search engine. Someone else said, no, it's not. It's the biggest change since the internet. Someone else said it's the biggest change since the calculator. But it is a massive change, an epoch change in our time. And on that positive note, I'm interested in your comments. Are you using AI in your business now? Is it something that you're looking at? I would hope it is. If it's not, you should be thinking about it. It's something that I think will revolutionize the way we do things. And for me, hopefully make some of the more boring tasks that you have to do as a lawyer something infinitely more interesting, but we will see. Some of the things that do scare me, but again I think are quite cool, is I saw that Apple is producing a tool where you can just produce a few lines of your voice and it will produce an AI voice for you that can talk on your behalf. So I could next time get someone to AI to voice over my video. But then you can also get AI at the moment to create avatars for you, so you wouldn't even need my face or me on the video at all. I could do the whole thing digitally and just give it a script that's prepared with some AI tool, and then, I don't know, assume profit, I guess suddenly discover that I become an internet celebrity, even though I'm just sitting, I know, on a sun lounger in the tropics somewhere. Although that said, given that the sort of guy wears a waistcoat every time and never ever wears any shorts, I don't think the tropics would be the best place for me. But there we go. But that's it for the moment. Interested in what you think. I expect that we will see over the course of the rest of just this year some changes, the likes of how we do business and how things are generated, which we've never seen before. We've seen them in just a few short months, and I am very excited about it. However, that's going to be my last video on AI just for a while. It's time for me to talk about other things that are going in the world. I am very concerned about how the technology war between the West and the East is starting to hot up, and how that is going to cause problems for us, certainly probably more work for us tech lawyers, but more problems for those who are working in the technology space as we go into the next few years, but we'll see. Anyway, that's it for the moment. Get in touch if you've got any questions, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care.